Hey everybody, this is Zach Rosette with BuildBlocks. In this video, I wanted to do a quick tutorial to show you how to make a block smashing effect, kind of like Super Mario. See, when Super Mario is big and he's able to smash the blocks up into little pieces, I wanted to do something like that and be able to show you how to add that to your game. So this is what I'm making today. You got this great little character smashing blocks in little pieces. It's got a great animation. So I'm going to show you how to put that into your game today. Let's get started. So assuming that you already have a character picked out and a background that you're working with and some platform to run on, now I'm going to show you how to give that character the ability to smash blocks. So the first thing you're going to need to do is bring in some sort of barrier that's going to protect your character's head. So I'm going to zoom in here so that you can see this a little bit better. And basically what I want to do is I want to make this nice and small. I'm going to turn on debug mode so that you can see this. So I'm going to make this barrier nice and small. I'm going to zoom in here so it's really easy to see. And you want this to just sit right on top of the character's head. And I'll be honest, pulling this little trick off takes some fine tuning. So I may fast forward some of the parts where I am fine-tuning things so that you're not having to watch and wait for me to move things down pixel by pixel. So we've got this object on top of the head. Now we need to make sure that we set this thing correctly. So first things first, we want to make this into a platform. We also want it to collide, and we want to change this to destroy enemy. Okay, so when this barrier on top of the character's head hits the block, it's going to destroy the block. Okay, so that looks good. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to turn on connection mode and connect the block with the character's body here. So then that way the little barrier will continue to move with the character as it moves through. So I'm going to also change the opacity down to 0 so that we can't see it. Okay, great. So now this is what we're looking at. I'm going to turn off activation mode, and so you can get a better idea of seeing what this looks like collision shape wise. The other thing that you need to make sure you have set in place for this is over here on the left, you select the object that you're working with, and then on the right the menu will open up. So let me see here. You're going to add component, and then you're going to add health. Okay, now how much health do you need? Because this is going to be blocking a bunch of blocks or smashing a bunch of blocks throughout the game, you want to give this a whole bunch of health. Okay, so now it's going to be able to smash blocks like 10,000 times. Okay, so there we go, we've got some health. Now let's add some blocks in, and let's zoom in so you can see this. Okay, so first I'm just going to drop in a block. Well, that block's too big. Okay, so over here, top right, I'm going to scale this down to, I think, just 0.5, about halfway. Make it nice and small. Okay, I can live with that. That looks good. Okay, so we've got a little block here. Now here's the deal. We need to set this block so that it is an enemy, and we're going to keep the object type fixed, and then we want to make sure that it is destroying the character. Okay, at least it's not actually going to destroy the character, but it needs to be set to destroy the character so it works. Okay, so next we're going to add in some barriers around this block, and it doesn't really matter what you use as a barrier, just as long it matters more about the collision shape. So I'm going to turn the collision shape on. I'm going to zoom in here so that you can see what I'm doing. And this is where you really have to do some fine tuning. So I may fast forward this part so that you're not waiting the whole time. But you want to get this nice and small and get this right about the size of the block, and you want it to sit just on top of it. Now this is going to take a lot of trial and error. Okay, I'm going to have to test out this plenty of times before I know for sure it looks and works just like I want it to. So I'm going to change the opacity to 0, and then this is set to platform and fixed, and it also is set to no destroy. Okay, so we do not want this to destroy the character. We just want it to work as a platform for the character to stand on. Now we also want this to work from the sides. We want to be able to hit the sides as well. So I'm going to copy it and paste it. And then I'm going to rotate it to, I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then I'm going to move this down so that it is just about like this, give or take. And one thing I notice is it helps to have it hanging out down below just a little bit. I don't think that much, but more like that. I think that is really good. Do you see how the lip of that is just sticking out just a little bit? I found with trial and error that that's a really good way to do it. So I'm going to copy and paste it again, and then I'm going to hold the shift key down so I can slide it directly right. It's really nice to hold down the shift key when you're trying to move things just along the X and the Y axis. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So the next thing I want to do is I want to connect these up. Okay, so that they all work together. So that when I make copies of this block, it also makes copies of the barrier. You'll see what I mean. So that looks pretty good. Let's just test this out now and see if this is working correctly. I'm going to turn off activation mode, and I'm going to turn off debug mode just for right now. Okay, so let's test this out. Okay, we've got the little character, he's running around. Let's check to make sure that the block is on top of his head. Okay, great. I want you to see there's the block right there, right on top of the character's head. That's super important that that sticks with the character. Okay, so let's keep moving along. Got the character, he's jumping around, and now let's see it smash this block. Okay, cool. So it actually killed the character. So we didn't do a good enough job of situating the collision shapes. So here's how you troubleshoot this. Okay, you zoom in on your character and let's check the collision shape. I think the collision shape might be a little bit low. So let's raise it up just a little bit. So you have to have it on. You have to have it on activation mode. Once they're connected, you have to have it on activation mode to be able to move things up just a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. It might be right around there. You don't want to go too high, but you don't want to go too low either, and then end up killing the character like you just saw. Okay, so let's try this again. Run. Okay, let's see him smash this block. Okay, awesome. I really like that. That looked good. And the nice part about it is that you can hit the block from the sides without killing the character. See how you're able to run on the top and you're able to hit the sides because of those barriers? But if you hit it from the bottom, it smashes it into little pieces. Okay, so this collision shape right here seems to be working well for right now, so I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to take it off activation mode. I'm going to go back to scene 1. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit, recenter. You hold the spacebar down to recenter. Changes the mouse into a little Mickey Mouse icon that you can see, a little Mickey Mouse hand. Okay, so there's our block. It's looking good. Now the next thing, to make the smashing effect of the block, let's take a look at the defeated animation, because that's where the magic happens. Okay, so over here with the defeated animation, let's go ahead and click the edit. Okay, and here's what you do. Take one of these objects over here, drop it in, and here's how you set it. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make this object just be a decoration, and then you want to change it to physics so that it is going to have gravity affecting it. Next, what we want to do is we want to give it a little bit of a linear velocity. We want to make this thing shoot left or right. So right now, let's go ahead and make this thing shoot right. And I think about 15 with a randomizer of 5, and then about 10 up with 10 in the Y direction, and then with another 5 as your randomizer. And then with the angular velocity, I really like to do 25 so that it kind of spins in different directions. So this is no collide, no destroy. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to give this thing a spawning component. So here's how you do that. Right here, you want to click Add Component and click Spawner. Then change this 1 to 999. What this means is that for every 999 seconds, it's going to spawn another one. So we want it to just happen once, so that's why we put 999. Okay, great. So that looks good. I think I might do another one with, I might just press D on my keyboard and make a duplicate. And then I might change this over here. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see this. I'm gonna change this number to -15 so that I have one going left and one going right. Okay, so I'm gonna throw these back in here, and it's a really good idea to have all of these debris and all the little pieces that are going to go flying, you want them to kind of match and be about the size of the block. So if you zoom in here, they're all kind of, you can almost make the size of the block here. It's kind of difficult, but when you're making yours, you want to use as many pieces as you can to make it look like the actual block, so it looks more realistic is the point. Okay, so I'm going to click exit. I'm going to save my work right now. And then let's take a look at this animation. Okay, so now we should have a few more pieces. Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool effect. And you should be able to jump on top of it, no problem. See, this is where you want to fine-tune things, because you want to get as close as you can without blocking it, without touching it. Did you see right there where I went onto the side of the block and I was able to destroy it from the side? That's because I didn't go far enough down with my barriers. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna show you how to fix that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fix that a little bit because I don't want to be blowing up these blocks with just the side of my head. Okay, so I'm gonna stretch these down just a little bit. I want to zoom in as much as I can so everybody can see it. So I'm gonna stretch it down just a little bit more. Okay, you don't want to overdo these things, because then you start running into other problems. I might even have done it a little bit too much, but the point is I really want to block, and I'm going to turn on activation mode, and I'm going to stretch it just a little bit to the right as well, so that it's protecting the block a little bit more. Okay, that's good. I'm going to select this, and I think I might make a couple copies so that we can test out whether or not we are able to hit it from the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this a couple times, and let's see if we're blowing up the blocks now. Okay, so now we should be hitting these blocks from the side. Okay, so right there, I've noticed that this happens sometimes. I went and leaned up right up against the block, and when I turned around, it blew me up. It destroyed the character because this block right here is set to destroy the character. So that needs to be fixed. So I'm going to delete all these, and I think I might fast forward this part so nobody has to see this again. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Just as a tester, because I want to use this block to stand on, and then I want to get as close as I can to this without blowing myself up. So I'm going to turn on activation mode, and then I'm going to just slide it a little bit more to the left. Okay, see how I did that? Just a little bit more. I'm going to save. Okay, so now I should be able to lean up, and when I turn around and press left on my key, it should not kill me. Okay, cool, so it didn't. So that's good. So that means the barrier is working correctly. And let's see if I can zoom in here so you can see it. That's about as much as I can zoom in on this. So you can see that the character, his collision shape is just hitting up against the barrier, and when I turn around, it's going to be fine. So it's not going to kill the character. But oh, see, it hit from the side again, so I need to protect the block just a little bit more. But it's definitely blowing it up from the bottom. Okay, as soon as that collision shape hits the bottom, then we've got some action going on. Okay, that's weird. I leaned up to the side of that one and it didn't blow up this time. Okay, yep, it is catching the lip. See, I did make it work there. Okay, so that needs to be fixed. And that barrier is still stuck there, which means it must not be connected. So we got to fix that too. So let's do that. So I'm going to exit out of this, and then boom, there's the connection. There's the connection that's missing. So these need to be connected. I don't know actually how that happened. I must have accidentally deleted the connection. So here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to delete this one, because this one was the old one. This is the one right here. This one right here is the one we've been working with. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that these barriers are coming down just a little bit more. So I'm going to move them down just a little bit more. Maybe not that much. A little bit. There we go. Okay, so hopefully now it's going to protect the block just a little bit better so that it's not blowing it up from the sides. Okay? And one thing that you also need to notice is with these barriers, okay, around them, you want to give those health as well, and you want to give it 999 health, or as much health as you want, but it needs to be a lot so that you can constantly hit the blocks from the side and it won't blow up the block or hit the character. So we need the health on that to be good. So you can see you can add the health right here, and you just do that by adding a component, and it'll allow you to add health right here. So if I didn't have this, then I would just add health and then 999. Easy. It doesn't really matter how many nines you put. Okay, so there's that. So now let's try this again. Okay, now I'm hitting the side. Oh darn it, it's still catching the lip. You know what I might do then? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit off of the characters off the side. That's what I'm thinking is happening. See how it's coming off to the right just a little bit? It's too much. That's too much. You need to, things need to be perfect. Okay? You have to set them just right if you want them to work perfectly. So I'm going to bring that in a little bit, and now let's see if it works. And see, I pushed up against the side of it as much as I could, and it didn't blow it up because I moved the collision shape just right. You have to do it just right. And now I should be able to do it going both ways and not blow it up the character. Okay, so I did on that side, so I probably need to take a little bit off. Let's take a look at what's happening there. So I'm running, and it's blocking it from this side, no problem. But this side is not doing a good enough job. Okay, so that means that the collision shape on the far right needs to be adjusted. So let's see here. This one I might be able to just take it in just a little bit right there on both sides, and then on this next scene, I go to the next scene, and I think this is where it's coming off just a little bit. I see how this one over here is sticking out a little bit further than this one. So this is a real easy fix. You just move it over a little bit. That's it. That's all you got to do is just move it over a little bit, and I think that's good. Okay, so I'm going to save my game again, and let's try this out again. Okay, so jumping on that side, no explosion. Jumping on this side, no explosion. Jumping from the bottom, you can explode. That's perfect. It's exactly what I want. And I think you can still get to the top. I think I might have put this block too high. Let's see if I can jump up from over here. This is going to be a crazy jump. Yeah! Ooh, I made it. Heck yeah. So you can stand on top of the block and then just come down and blow it up. It's awesome. Okay, so that's it. That's how you make a block smashing effect, kind of like Mario. And what's really cool is now that you've got your block all dialed in and it's connected, you can take off debug mode. Okay, and then you can start adding more blocks. So I might just do something like this, you know? And you can hide coins under these blocks. What's really fun is maybe you're going to have something right here that's hidden for the player to find, but they have to smash all these blocks to get there. Like maybe it's one of these, like to the top center. So anyways, so let's try this out now. Okay. Okay, cool. So you're able to walk on these blocks and use it as a ramp, but if you want to start blowing things up, you can just start smashing it from the bottom. Cool. So we could have something that's hidden under here, you know, and you have to blow up the blocks and smash the blocks to be able to see it. So that's something that you could add to your game that would be really fun. Ooh, you know what? That's another really good troubleshooting thing I can teach you. So sometimes when you're hitting the block and you're hitting the bottom, it's still killing you, and that's something that's weird. So there's two ways to tackle that. One, you can change this block to go up higher. So that's easy to just make this go up just a smidge higher. That's one way to do it. Probably that would be good enough. Let's see if that works. So the key is to look to see if the cube is directly in between the barriers. So if I jump right now, yeah, it just blasts through. See, that's perfect. Yeah, okay, no problems at all there. That looks good. So let's turn off debug mode and let's see it as well. Yeah, that looks good. And something else that you can do, so you can make it like, let's say you want to make it so that you're not jumping through a whole bunch of them all at once. So let's say you get it right in the middle there. Okay, so this is pretty close to the middle. So let's say you want to make it so that it doesn't just tower through all of these. Okay, the way you do that is this. So I'm going to go back to my scene. I'm going to fast forward through this part right now so that you don't have to see me delete all these objects that I made. Okay, so here's another way of fixing that problem so that it's not just jumping through a bunch of blocks all in one jump. So you just create another barrier, and I'll rotate it up a little bit so that's flat. And then just put it inside just a little bit, like that. Okay, so that'll stop it from keep going up and up and up. Alright, and don't forget to do connection mode and connect those up. So these two, I accidentally deleted that barrier and made it again, so I had to reconnect them again. Whenever you delete an object, like let's say I just delete it and then I press Control Z, I have to go back and connect it again, or else it doesn't work. Okay, so when you undo and you hit Control Z or Command Z, it will bring the image back, but it will not bring back the connection. Okay, so let's try this out now. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on debug mode to make sure that I'm right in the middle. Okay, that's pretty good. So now when I jump, it should destroy the block but not allow me to keep going upwards. Yeah, okay, cool. Same thing with this one. So I'm going to be able to jump, boom, it'll hit that barrier on the inside. It'll still just destroy the block, but it won't let me keep going. Okay, so that's perfect. Now that's how you do a really awesome block smash all the way through, no errors. Now we're cooking with fire. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you want to see more videos like this, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Like and subscribe.